It's day 2 in Lafayette at the Sunbelt Softball Championship, but the journey is just now getting started for last year's runner-up, the 6-seed Dukes of JMU. Standing in their way, the 3-seed out of San Marcos, Texas, the Bobcats of Texas State. 2026, their final journey in the Sunbelt, looking to add a third crown to their resume. You're watching the Sunbelt Conference on ESPN. Welcome back. It is quarterfinal day with 4 games coming your way. We set the table, wet your palate with the Bobcats and the Dukes. A rematch of last year's clash when JMU continued their magical run to that final, coming up just short of punching their ticket into the NCAA tournament. Welcome back. Great to have you with us, Lincoln Rose, along with Jenna Rose. And Jenna, again, 2 teams, same common goal, win, continue to advance. They need to win 3 games in 3 days. All of a sudden, they'll be champions in the Sun Belt.
Hey, for JMU, they're a gritty team. They know how to manufacture runs, and that will be pivotal against a team like Texas State that has one of the top ERAs here in the Sun Belt.
Well, let's take a look at some of the key bats specifically for JMU. What a year for Kendra Lewis.
Yeah, no joke there with Kendra Lewis. She is their top producer. We see 10 home runs, 36 runs pushed across the plate, and even 13 doubles. She expresses that power. She brings professional presence whenever she gets up to the plate.
First team all-conference in her first year competing in the Sun Belt. The talented junior shortstop leading the way for JMU. And well, let's stick to a theme here. People who wear the number 17 on the back. Last year, your conference player of the year, Ayanna Coleman.
For Ayanna Coleman, she displays elite plate discipline. She's drawn 61 walks, which is shattering records over there for Texas State. Along with that, she brings the big bat. And 1 in every 8 hits, you might see a home run, totaling 16 on the year. As
2 of the top teams of the Sun Belt, they earned a first-round bye. Their journey begins today in the quarterfinals. Winner moves on. Again, an inch closer to claiming a championship crown in the Sun Belt. The 2026 Sunbelt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sunbelt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sunbelt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org.
Say does that star
after again being patient and waiting for an extra day to unfold, finally the fans of the Dukes and the Bobcats get to see their teams compete. Let's take a look at your keys to victory today, brought to you by Visit Lafayette.
When it comes to James Madison, they need to ensure that they're attacking early. They're facing one of the top teams at the top ERA in the Sun Belt Conference, just north of 2 in Texas State. So they need to make sure that they don't fall behind. That's when you can see a little bit of different movement, different works coming in from the pitchers. And of course, on the flip side of things for Texas State, they need to drive runs in. They've been leaving runners on base, and they need to attack early.
These two teams did not play this year. They did collide in last year's Sun Belt Championship on the campus of Troy. You see the lineup for the Dukes as Gleason, Edwards, and Lewis will lead things off. Again, another talented lineup from top to bottom. Peyton List will be your starting pitcher and also will be batting on her own behalf in the cleanup spot.
Kylie Gleason, I think, is a great choice to come in and lead things off for JMU. Last year, she was actually in the 2-hole, so a bit of a shift change there.
Again, for the Bobcats, it's your Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Year, Madison Azua, who gets the starting nod today, understandably.
Azua just continues to break her ceilings every single season. She brings a mature mindset. She's even throwing harder, pushes herself in the weight room. We saw last season she was sitting around 63, 64 miles per hour. Now is hitting 75, grazing 67.
Take a look at the defense that surrounds Azua. Bubela, Hood, Zarate, and Coleman in the infield, with Kellner completing the battery. In the outfield, Vestal, Harvey, and Williams from left to right. For Texas State, again, 36 wins this year. Went 16-8 in conference. They were your preseason favorites, but boy, a lot of teams elevated their game this year, so they settled for the number 3 seed today. And again, we'll be slowly getting more familiar with some familiar faces in blue this week as take a look at our 4-person crew. Today, Mike Thibodeau behind the plate after being out on the field yesterday. Aaron Golden, Carlos Guzman, and Laura King round out our crew here for Game 1. We'll get to see them again later on today. Pretty ideal conditions when you consider what we've seen over the years at conference softball tournaments and postseason softball tournaments when the month of May rolls around. We do expect that we're going to be able to get in all 4 games today, and right now, relatively pleasant, 61 degrees. As that flag already getting a little more action than it got yesterday.
When it comes to the wind, outfielders beware. Everyone knows where they're shading, where they need to stand, and have gone over the game plan to adjust.
So again, JMU, if it wasn't for Coastal Carolina's Cinderella run last year, JMU would have been stealing the headlines. They came up just short to the Chanticleers in that final, along the way knocking off Texas State. Bobcats were one and done last year, leaving a bit of a sour taste heading into the offseason. And the Dukes able to strike early. Kylie Gleason will reach with the leadoff single off of Azua. That's a nice way to start your morning.
Yeah, no joke there, Lincoln. For JMU, they know they need to attack early. Already working in with a first pitch strike was Azua. See it and do it. It was the mindset of Kylie Gleason, who can do a lot of damage when she's on the base paths.
And that was a 2-0 shutout for JMU last year, 364 days ago, over on the campus of Troy. Trying to get the bunt down, Madison Edwards. Behind the count 0-1 with Gleason on first. And Kendra Lewis on deck. Will she have a couple of teammates to work with on the base paths? Gleason again shows bunt, determined to move the runner. And likely that bunt no longer available to her.
When we think back to last season, taking a look at this tournament here for JMU, they really capitalized on the small ball, able to manufacture runs, and Kylie Gleason was a major factor in that, actually having a double steal in one game. So to have her in the leadoff spot, push her from that 2-hole is fantastic if they're able to make movement happen.
Runner on first with nobody out. The 0-2 gets her looking. Edwards down on strikes. I think we were both expecting that to be called strike 3. Just had to wait a little moment.
For Madison Azua, she came into this game with 221 strikeouts. We're going to add another number to that here. Just caught off balance there. Didn't think that it would be in the zone, but you can see the shake of the head there from Edwards. Striking out looking.
That makes way for the first team all-conference shortstop, Kendra Lewis. Again, first year with JMU, an instant impact in the lineup for her new team. Kylie Gleason led off this inning with that single into right, still standing on first base, now 1 away. Texas State, one of just 5 programs who have ever won the Sun Belt softball tournament. First time they did so was in 2018 after they joined the conference in 2014. And then more recently in 2024, able to claim the crown. Of course, JMU, 2021, what a magical run that was their last year to the NCAA tournament. Coming out of the CAA, of course, would go all the way to the Women's College World Series in 2021. What a great addition they have been to the Sun Belt Conference. Last year, they would defeat the host Troy, Texas State, ULM before falling to Coastal Carolina, the 7 seed. Final score of 3-2, and you've got 2 aboard with 1 out, the walk to Lewis. That will finally push Gleason into scoring position.
Yeah, that feels pretty uncharacteristic of Azua there in the circle, unable to make anything happen there, locate the zone, but that'll issue a free pass where JMU, if they do things right, can make movement happen.
JMU starting pitcher today, Peyton List, hasn't thrown a pitch yet, but she has a chance to give herself a lead to work with when she finally steps on the rubber in the bottom half of this inning, the Pennsylvania native. You see her numbers offensively this year. She comes up with Gleason on first and Gleason on second, Lewis on first. And Ricky Woodard, the head coach of Texas State, will make her way out.
List not having as explosive as a season as she did last year in the box. Right now she's swinging a solid 306. Last year it was 380 at this time entering the tournament, but still stellar numbers, right? If it's not at her peak, she's still a consistent contributor, able to put the ball in play and do so with pop.
Ricky has Josh Trevino on staff to work with the pitchers, but she'll go out there and chat right now. Of course, it was just a few years ago that she had a pitching coach by the name of Kat Osterman. She'll make her way back. She is going to be the head coach this summer for the Texas Volts in the AUSL. They'll play in Round Rock, north of Austin. Kat Osterman is the general manager for that club, so they maintain their relationship. Azua, again, your pitcher of the year. And taking 60 feet will be Gleason down to third.
Great heads-up base running there by Gleason, seizing the moment. Throw was not made. A bit of a bobble over there behind the plate.
She was 5 for 8 in stolen bases coming into this weekend. As the pitch will miss to, again, Peyton List, your DP and pitcher. List first team all-conference as a DP. Transfer who started her career at Virginia Tech. And she's getting to learn the strike zone. Runner will stay at first. Runners on the corners here with 1 out.
Kellner does her homework. She definitely knows they're behind the plate. She has to be ready. Any movement can happen. Doesn't matter if it's 1 out, 2 out. Here for JMU.
3-1 offering will load the bases. That's 2 walks, along with a single this inning. Lauren Laporte in her 8th year at the helm after 4 years on the staff as an assistant. She's a 3-time CAA head coach of the year for leading JMU into the Sun Belt. I mentioned that 2021 trip to Oklahoma City. 9 NCAA tournament appearances overall for the Dukes. The last one was 2021. They went every year from 13 through 19 out of the CAA. That was the Colonial, now the Coastal Athletic Association. Bases loaded for Emily LeGrand. Jenna, that translates to Emily the Great. Let's see if she can live up to it. And sophomore for JMU with bases loaded and 1 out. And all of a sudden, no more need for a double play ball. As there's your second strikeout of the inning for Azua, trying to get out of the jam.
I think she was able to work in mentally here. It was a little tough to start out for those back-to-back free passes. Each time her first pitch was a ball, so able to work in with a first pitch strike, go from there, elevate the zone a little bit, different look with the rise, and then come back in to seal the deal there with a nice pitch.
JMU has the luxury of having an all-conference standout in the 6th hole of their lineup, Callie Legsden. She had a game against Georgia Southern where she had 2 triples in the same game. If she can produce a triple here, it's going to be a 3-0 start with 2 outs for JMU.
Having a bat like hers right here in the order, I mean, it can pay dividends, especially when you look at the top half. They're known for speed, getting on base, and right now we've got 2 aboard.
The 1-1 from Azua, who right now is squarely focused on the batter in front of her, not worried about the 3 base runners, including a couple who reached via free pass. And it's Gleason who singled over on third, Lewis on second, and List, your starting pitcher, on first. This one punched out of play. And Legston batting .338 this year with the 10 home runs, 32 RBI. Chance to add to some of those numbers here.
As a batter, you always live for this moment. It's exciting when you know you could be the one to meet the moment, 2 down, bases loaded, having the opportunity to crush the ball.
Legston trying to extend this inning. Just gets a piece of it.
Curious to see if Azua can work her way out of this one. So far, she's ahead in the count.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Azua has already struck out a pair this inning. And was inches away from stranding bases loaded. As again, Mike Thibodeau behind the plate gave it an extra thought.
Yeah, that breaking ball, when Azua's on, she can truly throw in some nasty stuff. Tries to give a different look with her arsenal here, so curious to see how she continues to create separation.
The 2-2 got her. Azua finds her 3rd strikeout in the top of the 1st to get out of a jam as the Dukes leave the bases loaded. Time for the 3rd seed Bobcats to grab their bats for the first time here in Lafayette. Scoreless top half of the 1st, giving the Bobcats the chance to strike first here in the home half as your home team, the higher seed. Williams, Hood, and Coleman will try to spark things. Again, Coleman was last year's Conference Player of the Year and probably had a good argument to repeat this year with the numbers she was putting up. Problem was a lot of pitchers just chose to walk her, so her numbers were a little deceptive. They looked down this year.
It is so fascinating to see that number. 61 walks drawn so far over the course of the season. Doesn't happen all too often. There's huge separation between her and the 2nd ranking batter able to draw that amount of walks here so far this year.
Peyton List was one of the 3 runners left on base last half inning, so does not get to throw a pitch with a lead, at least not yet. Hensler behind the plate, completing the battery. Ortega, Lewis, Edwards, and Legston in the infield. LeGrand, Gleason, and Evans from left to right, patrolling the outfield here in Lafayette this week.
For Peyton List, it's going to be so key that she hits her spots. This has been something she's been struggling with over the course of the last 2 seasons. She's coming into this one with 98 walks. Last season, that number was actually down with 81. So we see large strikeout totals, but she has to hit her spots to be successful today.
Williams out of the San Antonio area, started her career at Texas A&M, much like Ayanna Coleman. A lot of maroon in those closets. Just a little extra gold now factored in. And Peyton List, 1st team All-Conference as a DP. Probably a little maroon in her closet as well from her Virginia Tech days. And she goes from one school in the Commonwealth of Virginia to another, to JMU. And biggest question for JMU, you're talking about a team that last year had that great run thanks in part to 9 seniors. This year they bring in 6 freshmen and 4 transfers. But just figuring out with the pitchers they had who's really best suited for which roles. Ultimately, List emerged as a quality starter anytime you needed her. A leadoff walk here to Keely Williams, as Texas State will try to produce the first run of the day.
For Peyton List, she really needs to understand the importance of getting ahead and staying ahead. Right now, 4 straight balls isn't the way that you want to kick off a game with a lot of weight.
Here's Sammy Hood from the greater Dallas area. Started her career at Wichita State. Now in her first year coming over to San Marcos in the Sun Belt Conference. She was all-tournament team with her former squad, the Shockers.
Having a visit here in the circle. I think when it comes to Peyton List, we've talked about she's had some issues locating the zone. That has trickled into this game. Definitely one that you don't want to see.
In 220 to dead center, 200 down either line. Here at Yvette Gerard Field at Lamson Park. And always such a great place to take in a softball game, let alone one with a championship pursuit unfolding over the next few days. Leadoff walk for Keely Williams, Sammy Hood. You'll see the count even up.
Peyton List able to work in with a strike right there. She does find a lot of success when she stays low in the zone. So I think she's going to try to throw what she does best.
Tries to stab at it for the bunt to catch them off guard. Now behind the count 1-2, Ricky Woodard did say when I talked to her in the fall, she's sad she only gets Sammy for 1 year. At the same time, Sammy, though she is a senior, still just continues to mature throughout the course of this spring. Right back at List, who's able to turn and fire for the double play and wipe the bases clean. 2 outs.
For List, this is a major sigh of relief. She didn't like issuing that free pass, able to dial it back in. A quick reaction there with the liner coming back her way, courtesy of Hood, who saw the ball well, just unfortunately straight into the glove of the opposing pitcher. And not much you can do when you're over there at first base. It's hard when it's up the middle. You'd think at times it could fly out, get a liner to the outfield, but that'll quickly be 2 down.
All right, here's Ayanna Coleman. Consensus is she is one of the top 2 Coleman sisters on the Texas State team this year. And again, we mentioned she was last year's player and newcomer of the year. This year, both those honors went to Burco at Marshall, the 2 seed this season. Coleman now towards right. That's going to hang up there for Emma Jo Evans. And when you factor in a double play turned by your pitcher, Peyton List, you'll face the minimum. Top third of the order for the Bobcats. Back to work for the Dukes here in Louisiana.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
There's a little bit of everything from Madison Azua in the first. She walked a pair, but also struck out 3 to get out of a bases-loaded jam.
When it comes to Azua, she can really get back into the zone when she's working with her curveball and it is breaking well. We saw back-to-back curves thrown to strike out Callie, one of the big bats that you see later on in the JMU lineup. So we're going to wait and see what happens here as she tries to continue to attack early and working with some first pitch strikes.
Faced 6 Duke batters in the top of the first, stranding 3. So bottom third of the order beginning with Ortega for the Dukes. Ortega, the redshirt freshman out of New Rochelle, New York, made the adjustment over to third base after PK Arredondo went down with the injury early in the year. As you see, batting a .311 clip so far this season. Ortega, Hensler, and Emma Jo Evans, the minimum 3 due up for Azua, is after her counterpart Peyton List walked the leadoff batter last inning, but helped turn that double play and faced just 3 Bobcats. Remember, Bobcats had a premature exit last year at the hands of JMU. They did not meet on the schedule this year in the Sun Belt. Tough chopper, but able to get it off the first hop is Sammy Hood over and delivers one away.
Azua doing what she does best. She's working efficiently, working quickly, and able to do some soft contact as well.
Mentioned Sammy Hood's first and final year as a Bobcat. There's Bella Hensler, redshirt junior. Your catcher for JMU this year. In Dukes, what a difference it is between being the 6th seed, which they are, and the 7th seed. Top 6 teams got yesterday off. Left side, back over to Hood. Rinse and repeat, 2 away. So JMU, like Texas State and all the top 6 seeds, able to debut today in the quarterfinals. And we will crown a champion on Saturday.
So far, it's been a light day here for the Texas State defense. Already working with a routine play there for Hood, but already seeing a couple of strikeouts so far, and there's been a few free passes and a single as well.
Going to give away to the 9-hole hitter, Emma Jo Evans. Can I interest you in a 9-hole hitter hitting .325 with 6 home runs and 21 RBI on the year? See if she can extend things. This one out towards center to the wall. Goodbye. Did I say 6 home runs? Make it 7. As Emma Jo Evans has given the Dukes the lead here in Lafayette.
Emma Jo Evans always surprises the opposition. When you think of who's in the 9-hole in the lineup, you don't necessarily think of somebody who has the speed, accuracy, and power that she possesses. Working it way back up the middle, doing so with some lift, nice launch angle swing. Really makes things interesting now for JMU and sets the stage here for Kylie Gleason to maybe shake the shoulders a little bit and come in with low stress as the lead.
So after they left bases loaded last inning, they take advantage, 2 outs. Still having an out remaining here in the second. Kylie Gleason singled and was stranded on third last inning. She's already seen a pitch for a strike here. And now quickly in an 0-2 hole facing Madison Azua for a second straight inning.
Says a lot about Azua now to work back in and dial into the strike zone. Never a great feeling giving up a home run, but she'll put it in the past. It's still early in the game.
Gleason started her career at South Carolina. Just as a human being, very impressive. She and another teammate, Morgan Masaros, dedicated countless hours to local rescue squads, EMTs, and hospital work as they prepare for PA school. Helps put softball in perspective. You see already her production today. And Azua got a couple of ground ball outs to begin this inning before the long ball from Emma Jo Evans gave JMU the lead. It's not a rule that the team that scores first wins, but that's how the 2 games yesterday went. Coastal Carolina, your 10 seed advancing, along with your host, the 8 seed Raging Cajuns. That one back to Azua, and Gleason retired for the third and final out. But there was a little bit of noise being made in the second inning. That ball getting out faster than you can say Emma Jo Evans.
Emma Jo Evans getting business done, putting JMU on the board. When they score early, they do well, as they did taking 2 against Marshall in their final series. Let's see if they can continue to apply pressure.
Back in Lafayette for the quarterfinals. A reminder, enter for your chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org. The community, the university, along with the Sunbelt, such great hosts for this event. Even the coaches who weren't a part of hosting this week, we're thrilled that Louisiana was hosting, just knowing their great experiences they've had here in the past. As Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose. Bottom half of the second inning, Kat Zarate, Harley Vestal, and Kate Babella will look to respond to the run that JMU has posted as of the top half of this inning.
Kat Zarate getting her first look here at List in the circle. Now, I think a lot of these bats coming in, they're going to be laying off the first few pitches just because List has had a hard time locating the zone. Unless they see something they like, of course, as we just saw a swing there and a foul ball.
Zarate did not factor into last year's matchup against JMU. She was out for that season after being a regular starter a couple of years ago, plugging right back in this year as a redshirt junior. Actually had an extra inning walk-off home run against South Alabama in the Sun Belt Conference semifinals 2 years ago, when, again, Texas State would go on to claim their most recent tournament title in the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The 1-1 from Peyton List, working with a lead for the first time. And just a fun note about Kat Zarate with a K. She was one of the last recruits from Kat Osterman with a C. Kat ultimately would leave the program to get ready for her final Olympic Games. That, of course, we'll all remember the 2020 Olympics and 2021 over in Tokyo. And a strikeout for Peyton List, her first strikeout, and she continues to face the minimum through 4 batters.
When List is on, she's able to overwhelm batters with her velocity, and she's really just able to make her stuff look harder because she likes to keep it low in the zone. You see it right here. And for her to work in early in the count, first pitch strike after having a tough outing to begin here against Texas State. Excited to see if she's able to continue to dial.
That'll give way to Harley Vestal. Already all conference honors for the New Braunfels, Texas native. That's a pretty short commute from New Braunfels to San Marcos, where Texas State is. She played at Canyon High School, started her career at Texas A&M, where her sister Brooke has also played. There's another sis Hunter who played at Bucknell. Punched down, opposite field, could be trouble. It'll get down for a base hit with 1 out, as Vestal is on the tying run here in the second inning. Lewis and LeGrand trying to track that ball down, just couldn't get there quite in time.
Vestal has that picture-perfect swing. She kept her head down on it, not able to make solid contact, but still sending it with some lift, sending it with some power, and phenomenal effort there by Lewis, who was unable to make the grab. But Out now, fielder the last line of defense. So LeGrand working quickly to get the ball back in.
Kendra Lewis was clearly calculating something after she laid out for that ball. She withdrew her glove a little, and I think it might have been worried, I'm not going to catch this ball, and the worst thing I could do is have it go off my fingers of the glove and then get kicked into foul territory for extra bases. Either way, Vestal is on with one out, as Kate Bubella will come to the plate for the first time. Bubella, the transfer from North Carolina, where she spent 1 year, now in her second year as a Bobcat, back in her home state of Texas. Last year was a tough transition for her, but she went from a 225 hitter to this year 309 with those 7 home runs. Ricky Woodard pointing out Bubella, probably the most athletic player just all around on this team for Texas State.
And we'll see that shine through in her extra base pop as well. 7 home runs, 9 doubles, and a few more to add to that list.
Again, Peyton List working with a lead thanks to the 2-out solo shot from Emma Jo Evans. We've seen 2 home runs through these first 2 days. Nobody's going the easy route. They are both going to dead center. It was Hood yesterday for Coastal, and now Evans today for JMU. That's just a perfect pitch. So tempting, but Bubella unable to get the bat on it.
Bubella has developed into that consistent contributor. You talked about how she's put the effort in. You've seen that reflected in her stats and in her numbers, and does a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet as well.
This one will carry out towards right. Vestal back, 2 outs, still standing on first, as Emma Jo Evans is able to squeeze that one in. So on to Carmen Bass, the senior. And a 3-year starter for this program. She hopes to be back next year, but not with a glove on. She wants to be a graduate assistant next year on this Texas State staff as she pursues her advanced degree. And it seems like Ricky Woodard is inclined to keep her around.
Hey, players can continue to make an impact as they switch roles, right? So, born and raised.
Tying run on first, Harley Vestal is there with 2 outs, your base runner for Texas State. Bobcats won the conference last year with a 16-8 mark. That 16-8 mark this year just earned them the 3 seed. As ULM and Marshall battled it out for top honors and a delay steal after Hensler had some struggles securing that ball. Vestal moves herself down to second.
Vestal taking initiative. You have to be able as a base runner to read what's happening on the field in front of you. And if you hesitate for just a split second, that could result in an out.
3-0 offering for Bass is now first base is opened. And stolen base is awarded to Vestal. See if Bass can extend things here. A base hit might very well tie this ball game. 27 RBI on the year for Bass. List working with a 1-run lead here in the home half of the second, our first of 4 quarterfinals today. We'll have live coverage of all of them right here on ESPN+.
Count runs full. Looked like List was able to get something in there to draw the swing, but look at this. How sweet is that?
Reminds me of when you were braiding my hair before today's broadcast.
Yeah, did you like the bow I gave you?
Thank you. Bass again, the 7-hole trying to come through. And it's Harley Vestal with freshly tied shoes over there in scoring position. 2 runners on for the Bobcats with 2 outs. Second walk today allowed by Peyton List.
For List, that could be a theme today if she doesn't stop the bleeding. Right now has allowed 100 walks over the course of the season.
I think everybody's just excited to be playing softball. Everybody's in a good mood. Both head coaches were joking around with the umpires pregame for an extended period of time. Megan Kellner from Central Texas, just north of San Marcos. Again, another short commute to her university of choice at Texas State. She's from Kyle, Texas, which unfortunately came up short of setting the world record for the most people named Kyle gathering on one day in the city limits. Both of her parents were Southwest Texas graduates. Of course, the school has since rebranded to Texas State. Last year, Kellner first team all-conference in that regular season championship run. Gonna have a halt in play here for a moment as our umpire makes his way into the circle. And another chat with her battery mate behind the plate with the coaching staff. As presumably this is all to buy the catcher, Bella Hensler, some time. Umpires have such a close relationship, independent relationship with the catcher. At the moment they need time. That umpire is going to go out and make sure that that home plate is clear of any speck of dust. They're going to walk their way out to the pitcher's circle, do everything they can. It looks like Hensler's good to go.
I think for List, that was a nice opportunity to catch a breather as well. Tough situation here. You're currently looking at 1 ball, 2 strikes, really wanting to put in a good put-away pitch.
Tying run in scoring position. Only third base unoccupied, albeit it's all with 2 outs. As List squarely focused on Kellner here with a 2-2 count. If Kellner can extend the inning for the 9-hole hitter, Sydney Harvey on deck. And this count goes full. They're going to throw behind the runner, and that is a stolen base for Harley Vestal. It's a 3-2 count pending with 2 outs now. On any kind of wild pitch, pass ball, and all of a sudden, that could be your difference maker. Vestal, the tying run, 60 feet away. At the same time, List can put an end to the inning right here. And they'll keep the count at 3-2.
One of the things that Vestal does so well is they actually keep the foot of their drive leg up against the bag rather than standing on top of it. Just allows for a smooth surface to get a really nice, quick reaction there. Bit of a tussle or hesitation, I might want to say, for making the throw down to 3. That bought her a few seconds.
Again, the payoff pitch with 2 outs. And that will do it for the second inning. The Bobcats strand their first 2 base runners, including the potential tying run just 60 feet away.
Peyton List able to hit the reset button, working in here for the strikeout looking.
Day 2 here in Lafayette. A couple days ago, it became official, the Sun Belt Conference recognizing the individual award winners. Sydney Burko, this year's Player of the Year in the Sun Belt, and also Newcomer of the Year, part of the fantastic season Marshall has had. We'll see the Thundering Herd make their debut later on today. Madison Azua, of course, already on display here in this game. Your Pitcher of the Year, while Haley Hart, your Freshman of the Year, the 11th one that Louisiana's had in their storied history. And, of course, your back-to-back Coach of the Year in the Sun Belt Conference, Molly Fichtner, after leading ULM to a regular season crown that narrowly eluded them last year on the final weekend. Got the job done this year.
Hey, all impact players that you saw there on your screen, and of course, a coach with plenty of impact, as you mentioned, back-to-back for that award.
So JMU's lead still intact. That 2-out home run last inning from Emma Jo Evans. We begin with the 2 spot in the lineup here. Madison Edwards, who struck out looking back in the first. One of 4 strikeout victims today against Azua. This one pulled foul. A few yards wide down the line. Madison Edwards, like Carson Sanders, really an extra attachment to this school. They grew up nearby. Their parents are alumni of the school. Both have been attending JMU camp since about age 10. Now all of a sudden they've got 10-year-olds looking up at them, looking to become future Dukes. This one shot out towards left, but barely having to budge is Harley Vestal, one away.
We always love seeing a full circle moment, but great work by Vestal out in left field. As you know, it's always first step back. That was a hard liner coming her way. You never know when it's going to continue to have that lift. Today with the wind, it can always just be a little precarious, so you got to make sure that you take a few steps back and maybe set yourself up for some carry.
So here comes Kendra Lewis, still batting .407 after she walked and was stranded on second with bases loaded back in the first inning. She'll try to get back on the base paths here against Azua. Second time through the order for the Dukes.
Azua able to work back in there now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Something that she's been working on is implementing a fantastic changeup, and when she does deploy it, it does pay off dividends. Mixing speeds may be something that will continue to help her now as we've seen some East-West pitching.
And Bobcats the 3 seed, Dukes the 6 seed. The Dukes wondering what if. They still go 13-11 for a winning record in conference, but a lot of heartbreak, especially early in the season. Southern Miss, Coastal Carolina, App State. This one out towards center, no heartbreak here, gets down for a 1-out extra base hit for Kendra Lewis standing on second. And several of their losses this year were just by 1 run. Right now they're looking to give themselves some insurance.
Hey, for Kendra Lewis, she doesn't make an impact occasionally. She does so consistently, and she was able to send that one to the gap with some power. Pardon, a little close to center fielder there. But with that being said, the speed is on display, and truly, this could set the table now for List.
Lewis again is in scoring position. Can they bring her around? A foul ball from Peyton List, who walked last time up. She's going to go chat with her coach in the third base box.
JMU is always full of surprises when they're at the plate, especially with a runner aboard. So curious to see what they try to accomplish with some speed and a big bat.
This was volleyball season. Coach would be challenging a play with that laminated green card. But here just, I think, looking at notes. Enlist that 5'11" presence at the plate. Facing her counterpart today in the circle, Madison Azua.
Yeah, having a taller statue will always ensure that you're forcing the pitchers to pitch to you. They have to change their strike zone and try to bring a different complexion.
3 pitches have each missed the strike zone. See if List is going to wind up with another free pass. Again, Madison Azua, a couple of walks in that first inning when she would also strike out 3 to strand the bases loaded for the Dukes. Here's the 2-1. Now the count, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Azua really just tries to nibble on that outer half of the plate. When she does so successfully, it's paid off pretty well for her and her team, but just really looking to dial in here for the 3-1.
Couple of walks for Peyton List. 2 on with 1 out.
Those pitcher-on-pitcher matchups are always pretty fascinating. List is pretty patient whenever she steps up to the plate. That one paying off there in her favor. Now 2 aboard with 1 down.
JMU had bases loaded in the first with just 1 out, and then LeGrand and Legston both struck out, unable to produce a run. They're going to get a second chance here. That is a foul ball off the bat of LeGrand.
That one getting pretty close there to the neck of the bat.
Just bad luck for Emily. Otherwise, would have been ahead of the count. Oh, and 2. It's easy to overlook. Texas State, look, Azua was great this year, but the team staff as a whole pitching a team ERA of 250. I think anybody in America will take that. But right now, in Azua, it's been a bumpy start against this talented lineup for JMU. And part of it has been free passes, 3 walks already. And right now your difference on the scoreboard, the solo shot from Emma Jo Evans last inning.
Texas State, they do have a few other arms that they could go to. Emma Strood, Annalisa Solis are a few names that you've seen pop up time and time again. Between the 2 of them, we see that Emma Strood, 92 innings of work. Annalisa is up there as well, so I think they're going to continue to ride out with Azua.
This is the first of our 4 games today. Second straight day that the 10 seed Coastal Carolina is in action today against Marshall. Louisiana back in action today. In-state foe ULM, the regular season champions, will be their dance partner, and then South Alabama and Southern Miss will close out our day. This one is playable in foul territory and squeezed in by Kellner, 2 away.
LeGrand was not happy with that one, not really giving it a full sprint down there to first base. Obviously, some disappointment knowing that it could be caught, and it sure was.
And so again, I mentioned another chance here for Callie Legston, who would strike out for the 3rd out with bases loaded in the 1st. Another chance to find some insurance this time around with 2 on, but now 2 out. And JMU had to get to the final last year the hard way, winning 4 games in 4 days. Well, they would get the first 3 wins, only to fall to Coastal Carolina by 1 run in the championship last year. They're looking for their first Sun Belt crown after great success in their previous home.
Legston has the capability to change the game just with 1 swing. This would come up huge for JMU if she's able to put the ball in play.
The 1-1 to Legston with 2 on. Over the right side, Zarate trying to get out of the inning. They do. JMU has stranded 5. They do have the lead heading into the home half of the 3rd, but a single swing of the bat could change that for the Bobcats.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country. A melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
Just a 1-run affair here in our quarterfinal between 6th seed JMU and the 3rd seed Texas State. Texas State, the home team by virtue of being the higher seed this year. Another chance to respond to the solo shot they conceded a couple of innings ago. Lincoln Rose, Jenna Rose with you, as Peyton List is still seeing the Bobcats lineup for the first time as the 9-hole hitter Sydney Harvey leading off.
Harvey's had the opportunity now to watch 8 of her teammates go up to the plate, try to learn a few things, see what's happening. A lot of these batters have been patient and swinging away if they see something that they like.
This is a Texas State team outside of conference this year, beat Texas A&M, beat Texas Tech. I don't know if you've heard, but Texas Tech is pretty darn good these days at softball. So good that Ricky Woodard's going to be coaching Nigeri Kennedy this summer, as she was drafted by the Texas Volts. Right now, Ricky trying to coach the Bobcats for as long as possible here this spring. Single elimination format here in the Sun Belt. Texas State coming over from the WAC in 2014, where they had spent a couple years transitioning out of the Southland Conference, their longtime home. Before that, a beautiful bunt put down by Harvey, but well done, able to execute to get the out, 1 away.
Harvey truly has solid bat control. She's poised. Sometimes you'll see players that are lunging, they're excited, or maybe they get a little thrown off guard by where the pitch is going, if it's elevated or if it's low. Kudos to List to be able to make such a determined play there from out of the circle.
I mean, that's usually the third baseman's ball, Ortega, but you've got a pitcher willing to barehand it, not waste any of time, and fire a strike over to first. Back to the top of the order in Keely Williams. And if List uses her glove, I don't think she gets the out.
Those are the moments that separate some of the great pitchers from others, is the fact that they know that they have to switch quickly to become a defender, working with the bare hand to get it over as quickly as she could.
She swings a bat, she pitches, she fields. Williams had the leadoff walk in the first, though that would not cost List and the Dukes, as she was doubled off with the line drive from Sammy Hood one batter later. We mentioned those wins over A&M from the SEC, Texas Tech out of the Big 12, just gave this Bobcats team the confidence this year that they can play with anybody. I think they like what they saw this past weekend. They put up 12 runs. They even had room to improve because they left 12 on this past weekend. They still have not scored against JMU these last 2 years in the conference tournament. Again, fell 2-0 last year. List even had a home run for one of those 2 runs last year. This one up the middle, shortstop Lewis, across the diamond, 2 away.
That was a hard hit ball over there to the shortstop in Lewis, but when it comes to this Texas State team, we know that Peyton List is kind of having some trouble locating the strike zone here. We've seen a few free passes already be issued. That was a 3-0 count. Saw something that she liked, but maybe, just maybe working on being patient and being extremely selective at this point could pay dividends for Texas State if they continue to get aboard.
All right, JMU scored their lone run with 2 outs. Let's see if Sammy Hood can produce with 2 outs.
I've noticed something about players with the last name Hood here in the Sun Belt Conference. They tend to be pretty good at what they do.
If only there was a way to remember that. And it's our first home run of the week, understandably from an Australian named Hood for Coastal Carolina, who is flirting with the record books for her storied program. Again, Azua's your pitcher of the year, matched up with Peyton List. And right now it's List, the only of the 2 pitchers who has had a lead, albeit just 1 run to work with. Her teammates have teased her, thinking she might get some insurance. Bases loaded in the first. Now the runners left on last inning, a total of 5 left on through 3 innings. The 2-1 to Hood, 3-1.
Similar situation here for Texas State, needing to be selective while they're ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, this is a big out because if Hood gets on, she's the tying run with Ayanna Coleman, who is very much in the same form she was last year when she was Player of the Year.
And talk about a solid top three here when you take a look at Texas State's lineup. Some pretty big obstacles in Keely Williams, Sammy Hood, and as you mentioned, Ayanna Coleman.
Payoff pitch, nobody on with 2 outs. Hood shoots this one out towards center. And at the warning track, Gleason able to make the catch, then brace herself for impact with that center field wall. It is a 3-up, 3-down third inning as Peyton List continues to help the Dukes march on with a 1-run lead intact. Reminder, ESPN is now the home of MLB.TV. So you can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLB.TV. At this point, when you don't know where to find a game, I think everybody just goes to the ESPN app and assumes they're going to be able to find it.
Hey, it's very helpful just going to the search toolbar. You get what you need.
So this is still just a 1-run affair. On to the top of the 4th we go. And Azua in her 4th inning of work, both starting pitchers in this ball game. Bottom third of the order again for JMU, just as was the case in the 2nd, when Ortega led off that inning with a ground out to the left side.
Yeah, these two teams building up the anticipation in this contest. Yesterday, it felt that pitchers were moving very quickly, balls were being put into play, counts were maybe not going as deep as they are today.
Ortega will just loft one over to the shortstop Hood. This time on the fly for out number 1.
Azua will most certainly take that anytime an out's recorded. Almost breathing a sigh of relief there as a pitcher, and I think that's good for her as she continues to try to find a rhythm and establish a few things from there on the rubber.
Hensler was also retired by Hood back in the 2nd inning. And she's going to get to run the bases, takes that one off the elbow. And unlike the 2nd inning when Emma Jo Evans came up with nobody on and 2 outs, she'll come up here with 1 out and a teammate on the base paths if she decides she wants to hit another ball over the outfield wall. In this case, this is the ball hitting Hensler.
Yeah, Hensler was bracing for it. She knew it wasn't going to feel good trying to turn her back on the ball, but he'll take the free pass.
All right, Emma Jo Evans, at the moment, the hero of this ball game. Had the 2-out blast over the center field wall back in the 2nd inning. Otherwise, JMU, when they've had base runners on, have been unable to produce runs. They'll throw behind the runner, Hensler, who's back just in time. Past the swiping tag of Coleman.
Jo Evans truly works as a second leadoff batter here for this team. Really clutch to have her at the bottom of the order there to continue to provide energy and big bats, but unable to come up successful in this one.
She's retired for the first time, as Azua now just needs one more out to strand another player for the Dukes.
Yeah, Evans just bringing in that home run swing and a bit of solid movement there, courtesy of Azua.
With 2 outs, Gleason trying to bunt for a base hit to extend this inning. He has a single in the first, struck out in the second. One of Azua's 4 strikeout victims. He get 5 strikeout victims today. That is a foul ball past the outstretched glove of Ayanna Coleman.
That one was close there, and Gleason, we know that she can do some damage whenever she gets on base, but in a very pivotal point here, 2 down, a runner on. Pushing that run across would bode very well here for JMU.
And Hensler, your only base runner, who was hit by a pitch. Gleason able to get that down and shallow left. Vestal will scoop it up, and you've got 2 on with 2 out. 3rd inning out of 4 that the Dukes have had multiple base runners.
Gleason able to ump the ante there. It was hard to get a barrel on that ball, really working with it to send it with some pop. And doing just that, continuing to keep this team alive here at the top of the 4th to see if they can continue to extend.
See if Madison Edwards can break her over with a strikeout looking and a line out to left.
Some nice movement there by Azua to record the strike. Count goes to 1-1.
This will be trouble out to left. It gets down, and the Dukes have insurance. Coming to score from second is Hensler. Remember, with 2 outs, she had the benefit of not having to wait to see if that ball was caught. Never slowing down. It's a 2-out, 2-run double for Madison Edwards.
For both Gleason and Edwards, this is their 3rd time up at the plate. They've learned what they've needed to. They've had conversations in the dugout, and now it is time to make some moments happen, and that happens just now. Courtesy of Edwards, sending that one deep into left with some power.
1 RBI on the double. Gleason's over on 3rd. Edwards behind her at 2nd.
This will now bring up our player to watch in Kendra Lewis. The outstanding batting average of .403 entering this game, leading the way here for the Sun Belt Conference with the best.
So there's a method to how we choose those players. I just thought we drew a name out of the hat.
Yeah, you learn something new every day, don't you, Lincoln?
Yeah, 408 hitter coming up in a big spot. Finally, insurance on the board. Both of JMU's runs today have come with 2 outs. After Lewis, it'll be Peyton List on deck. Lewis and List combined have walked 3 times today, and then there's Lewis's double last inning as well.
Nice work by Kellner to come on in, speak with Azua. I think she's trying to temper some of those emotions. Take this inning pitch by pitch. Currently 1 ball, no strikes.
6th batter this inning, Lewis with a big cut. Again, with 2 outs, only first base is unoccupied for JMU. Bella Hensler, who was hit by a pitch with 1 out, has already come home to score on the RBI double from Edwards, who is dancing there on second base in front of you. 60 feet ahead of her is Kylie Gleason. Okay. 2-1 from Azua.
Nice stop there by Kellner. We've seen different base runners able to take advantage if anything were to happen behind the plate, a wild pitch, unable to stop the ball, so this is important.
Bases loaded with 2 outs. And it's JMU with a chance to break this game open. At the same time, Bobcats Just need one out to get out of the inning.
Madison Azua, she does have that maturity when she is there in the circle, but has been a bit of a tough outing for her, historically coming in with an ERA just under 2.
Josh Trevino chatting with his pitcher of the year, Madison Azua. I mean, as good as Kat Osman was, could not grow a beard within the caliber of Josh Trevino.
He works so closely with his pitchers. He ensures that he's bringing them the right knowledge, taking time, and we've seen some great payoff from the work that he's put in for both Azua and Stroud.
Also on Ricky Woodard's staff, Scott Woodard, her brother, these past few years. Fun dynamic.
Yeah, we love a family affair. Small world in softball, huh?
Lincoln Rose along with Jenna Rose with you. With 2 outs, bases loaded for the Dukes. Again, the single from Gleason, she's on third. The RBI double from Edwards, she's still there. Lewis has joined them on the bases. Here is Peyton List. Your pitcher today for JMU again comes up with a chance to be her own best friend. Give herself some support.
Bringing in all those emotions with you and your at-bat to try to apply some force. Coming in with the chip on your shoulder as the pitcher.
She has walked twice today. If she does it for a 3rd time, she'll get an RBI for her lack of effort. She was stranded both of the other times in the 1st and 3rd innings.
Azua is staying low in the zone here. She's going to say, hey, if anything's going to be out in play, we're going to try and make it a soft grounder, get the out, close out the top of the 4th.
40 RBI this year for List to lead JMU. 11 home runs. One of 4 players with double digits out towards center and able to make a huge catch. Kat Zarate. If that ball gets down, the Dukes score at least 2 more. Instead, they'll settle for 1 run of insurance in the top of the 4th against the Bobcats.
Zarate putting on an absolute show over there in as middle fielder, going all the way out to the grass, making the catch above the logo.
Second straight year, JMU and Texas State on a collision course in the single elimination Sun Belt Softball Championship Tournament. Right now, Texas State staring at the team who ended their season last year, and right now staring at the same score line of 2-0 That was the final tally a year ago as JMU marched on and Texas State began their offseason. Here's Ayanna Coleman, who is left in the on-deck circle. Last inning, she'll lead off here, followed by Zarate and Vestal. A combined 1 for 3 today, with Vestal having that single back in the second. And Coleman still do some damage here and cut this deficit in half if Peyton List makes a mistake.
Coleman gets to sit back and be patient. Count runs to 3-0. You can see that Peyton List wasn't too thrilled with that call, making some gestures as she was back in the circle.
Unlike a lot of pitchers in the conference, not intentionally working around Coleman, though that one's not tempting. It is a leadoff walk for Ayanna Coleman. As she has continued to put the sports information director to some work there in San Marcos, rewriting the record books. They will run for her, as coming out will be Mel Reeves, who's mainly been a pinch runner, the San Antonio native.
I think that ability to draw so many walks speaks so much to what Coleman is able to accomplish. We know that she has a big bat, now setting the official Sun Belt Conference record with 62 walks drawn so far on this season. Absolutely insane stat, and I love too when it comes to taking a look at all of her hits. 1 in every 8 at bats, she's gonna go yard.
I have a feeling they're gonna re-enter her in the next half inning. But for now, Reeves will run, and Kat Zarate at the plate represents the tying run with her 10 homers this year. Again, all those walks, the reason why some of her hits in terms of production are down for Ayanna Coleman, which probably affected the voting when folks glanced at the numbers comparing her and Burko and some other quality candidates for Player of the Year. Whereas Kat Zarate returned from a hip injury that had her red shirt last year. Some lingering pain still this year, but battling through it. It's been a big part of this order, obviously in the cleanup spot. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. As the pinch runner Reeves on with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th.
For Reeves standing on first now in place of Ayanna Coleman. She has limited sample size of what she's been able to accomplish when she's at the plate, but really has that situational skill set, so eager to see what happens when she's on the base pass, what could be done.
0-2 hole for Zarate, facing List over the right side. Chance for 2. Edwards to Lewis, over to first and airmailed. And fortunately for them, not a dead ball, as it will simply be Zarate. Now your new base run on first with Reeves forced out following the fielder's choice.
We have the replay for you here with the chest over the plate, sending that hard grounder over to 2, trying to turn the double play. The ball will sail wide.
Here's Harley Vestal, the first hit of the game for Texas State back in the 2nd inning. That's also the last hit of the game for Texas State.
Nice pitch placement there by List in the circle.
Since then, just a couple of walks have led to base runners for the number 3 seed Bobcats. Coming in, that'll drop, and they'll get the out at first. The only option for Edwards over to Legston. That'll push Zarate into scoring position, but with 2 away.
Quick work there over by the second baseman, making the turn on the toe, firing down to 1, bit of a submarine throw. We've seen some quick defense over the course of this tournament and still some more in store.
Again, tying run at the plate. Kate Bubella now with 2 outs. Runner in scoring position, Zarate. Bubella flied out to right back in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Peyton List just looks so comfortable today in the circle. Was given a lead in the top of the 2nd. Finally insurance in the top half of this inning. And quickly the count 0-2 with 2 outs.
Already on the day with a flyout was Kate Bubella, now at the plate. He's had a strong showing this season, Batting average just over 300. And I mean, when she's a consistent contributor, we're seeing some of that extra base power here. So if she's able to square one up against List, we could see some big momentum with the runner at 2.
Texas State's next loss would be their last game as members of the Sun Belt Conference. Ricky Woodard reflected on it, bittersweet, as she credits the Sun Belt Conference for making her a better coach. Again, her great tenure at the helm as they'll go on to the new look Pac-12 next year. Louisiana Tech will step right in happily and renew some rivalries in the region. They were one of the original 4 members of this conference playing softball. And of course, here we are in Lafayette, the home of the 18-time champions Ragin' Cajuns, who are still battling this week. Bubella down on strikes. Bobcats will strand their lone base runner, and Peyton List is dealing today, just allowing 1 hit thus far, preserving a 2-0 lead through 4.
Peyton List working down and out, able to draw the swing, and the celebration right there.
Quickly on to the 5th inning here in our first quarterfinal of the day. JMU struck with that, again, home run from Evans to give them the lead. They have since doubled the advantage for Peyton List to work with, and already now the pitcher of the year in the Sun Belt has stepped aside to give way to our second pitcher for the Bobcats, Emma Stroud, the former LSU Tiger.
Last season, when it comes to Emma Stroud as a junior, she was able to come up big in some pretty clutch moments. We've seen some struggles so far here in her senior campaign, but really if she's working in that east to west movement, able to get some good spin, she'll be able to do some damage.
Had a 1-hitter earlier this year against Coastal Carolina, but really has proven to be comfortable in a relief role for this squad. And they will hit for LeGrand. As Mia, the freshman here, steps in after LeGrand had struck out and fouled out today.
2 new faces to begin the top of the 5th.
If you're Texas State, you have the benefit of being the home team. This should be the first out. It is just barely in fair territory for Bubella as the pinch hitter retired. Again, the Bobcats, we mentioned, bitter taste in their mouth last year, 1 and done, upset by JMU. Several teams last year were upset as JMU made it all the way to the final, only to fall to Coastal Carolina, also on their own magical journey when Troy hosted. Here is Callie Legson, 0 for 2 today, strikeout and a ground out. But again, this game starts to get deeper and deeper into the contest, and you start to wonder if those runs are going to come for the Bobcats. Right now, they're just trying to keep the Dukes to a 2-0 lead.
So far here, Emma Stroud is coming into this matchup calm and confident, doing well. Eager to see how she continues to adjust. She's had some time to watch different batters go through, work on game plans.
The 0-2 to Legsden. Second batter to face Emma Stroud. You can probably point to her outing against South Alabama that helped really turn her season for Emma in the circle. Even if they weren't able to win that game, I think Ricky Woodard looks back at it and saw that Stroud had been struggling. That helped build her some confidence that they've seen since that trip. She's been lights out. They've only lost one game she's appeared in since then. Obviously comes into a matchup where they are trailing by a pair. She's just trying to keep them within striking distance here. Six-hole hitter Legsden with one out, nobody on. Pushes that out towards right, but it'll be squeezed in by Keely Williams, 2 away.
He's had some back-to-back off-speed pitches there, courtesy of Stroud there in the circle, but Legsden able to get her barrel around it, just setting it right into the glove of the defender.
This is just the second time the first two batters have been retired for JMU in an inning. Last time it happened, well, they got the home run from the third batter that inning, Emma Jo Evans. Here's Ortega. A couple of times has been retired by Sammy Hood, a ground out and a pop out to the left side to the shortstop. She'll go opposite field, back over to Keely Williams, who's up to the task recording the final 2 outs, and that is a 3-up, 3-down inning for Emma Stroud. The first perfect frame posted by a Bobcat pitcher today. Quarterfinal day here in Lafayette after just dipping our toe in the shallow end with 2 games yesterday in the first round. Now 6 teams who got that first round bye jump in for these quarterfinals, including the Dukes and the Bobcats. Next up, Coastal Carolina back in action against Marshall, and then later on the host Louisiana against the regular season champion Warhawks. And then our nightcap. That should be a tight battle. The 4 and 5 seeds, Southern Miss and South Alabama. The winners will move on to our semifinals and then ultimately the championship on Saturday.
We saw ULM Marshall last night doing some studying, coming to the ballpark, watching a few of the games. So eager to see how all this pays off later today.
Peyton List, the last starting pitcher standing in this matchup. Mentioned she had her impact last year with a solo blast against Texas State to help eliminate them in their meeting in the conference tournament a year ago. That ended Texas State's defense of their previous Sun Belt tournament crown. That Sun Belt tournament championship 2 years ago, the last time they've played it a run, unfortunately for them.
List, working as a down ball pitcher, has found success over the course of this game, only giving up 1 hit to Texas State.
Bass, the DP, walked in the second. See if she can set the table here in the bottom third of the order. And apparently Hensler did a nice enough job framing that pitch. She'll earn the strike for Peyton List. Bobcats team with four-year starters on this squad. We talk so much about transfers. There are truly some program players who were part of that 2024 run to the NCAA tournament. Bobcats went back-to-back, following up their appearance in 23 over left side. Ortega across the diamond, one away.
Bass trying to adjust to the speed of that pitch there. Wasn't able to get a good hold of it. Still able to send the ball in play, but that will result in a ground out.
So Megan Kellner will face Peyton List just now for the second time today. Struck out looking to end the second inning. To strand 2 runners that frame for the Bobcats. Bobcats have stranded just 3 today. Limited base runners. JMU, conversely, has stranded 8. So if Texas State manages to put up a crooked number in an inning, JMU might start regretting not giving List a little bit more to work with. But right now, List still working with a shutout.
Kellner coming in with a chip on that shoulder, as you mentioned, striking out in the previous at-bat, looking in the second.
This one foul. Opposite field. Sydney Harvey on deck. And back to the top of the order for the Bobcats. This was a Texas State team this year that had more walks on the season than strikeouts. So disciplined at the plate, and within conference play, even better. Had almost twice as many walks as strikeouts. But Peyton List has not surrendered many free passes today, just a couple. And battling here is Kellner.
That is pretty rare to see, but I think that just speaks to the patience that this Texas State lineup can have when they're able to truly be selective, watch pitches go by. Bit of a rocky start for List to start, but has been able to really deal since.
8-hole hitter trying to come through here. Again, that one foul. And please refrain from taking out our crew members on camera. We need them for 3 more games today. We mentioned already the single season Sun Belt Conference walks record today, claimed by Ayanna Coleman, a big part of those free passes this year for the Bobcats. The count goes full to Kellner.
Hensler putting in overtime behind the plate, trying to help with the framework on that one, unable to get the call.
List has walked 3, allowed just 1 hit so far. None of those runners have been able to come home. With 1 out, nobody on, the payoff pitch, they'll do it again.
List has also been finding success trying to keep the ball away from right-handed bats.
Caught looking for a second time today. For the strikeout for List as she double dips against Kellner.
Kellner was not expecting that. She was thinking that was too inside to get the call, maybe a little too high. Pretty much right at the letters there.
Yeah, at this point, you're late enough in the game, you've just got to protect anything close. Here's Sydney Harvey, tried to put a bunt down for a base hit. Peyton List was able to barehand it and keep her off the base paths back in the third.
List can make those small adjustments throughout the course of a game. Seen the lineup a few times now. Now maybe trying to sample up in the zone a little bit, right? Everyone's been seeing low and away. Maybe there's a way to change the complexion of this arsenal.
If you're a JMU fan, you're starting to count outs. Bobcats down to their final 7. JMU will try to tack on to their currently 2-run lead when they bring Hensler, Evans, and Gleason up, each of whom has had success today this next inning. The 0-1 to Sydney Harvey, your 9-hole hitter for Texas State. And no problem there for Bella Hensler, as there's no base runner to contend with, following the ground out and strikeout of the first 2 batters this inning for the Bobcats.
Peyton List having a bit of a side smile there, trying to really work in, try some new things. May not always come up successful, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to change what batters are seeing.
Last pitch high and tight. That one in the opposite batter's box. Count 3-1 to Harvey. Out towards left, able to squeeze it in fair territory, Emily LeGrand. And believe it or not, just your second 3-up, 3-down inning for Peyton List, who's been overall pretty efficient today, working with a 2-run lead. JMU will look to add to that advantage in the top of the 6th.
The heart of Louisiana's Cajun and Creole country, a melting pot of generations passing along a recipe of joie de vivre. Live music, boiled crawfish, and the smell of gumbo signify the season. This is Lafayette, a parish filled with culture and hospitality unlike any other. It takes more than a quick visit to understand why we're the happiest city in America. Start planning yours. Allons à Lafayette.
Credit Union One, a proud sponsor of the Sun Belt Conference, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
All of a sudden, it's the top of the 6th here in our first quarterfinal of the day, as JMU again got a couple of runs, both with 2 outs today. Most notably, the 2-out home run from Emma Jo Evans in the 2nd to give Peyton List the lead she's been working with ever since. They did tack on some insurance in the 4th as well. Here's Bella Hensler, the most recent player to cross home plate. And she'll face Emma Stroud, who came in last inning and got 3 balls up in the air to retire the 3 batters she faced in relief so far. See if she can get the Bobcats quickly back into the dugout.
3 up, 3 down, that's pretty impressive coming into a game. A lot of high stakes here as you're in the tournament. Curious to see what she tries to deploy against these JMU bats.
Hensler will even up the count, sending that one foul. I'd like to think one of our viewers is calling that gentleman in the 3rd row. See if he'll wave in a few moments. So Hensler, your 8-hole hitter, was hit by a pitch, remember, back in the 4th inning, ultimately came around. Though bases were left loaded behind her, JMU has left the bases loaded twice today. Again, they've stranded 8 total already. This one towards the gap. That one off the wall. Harvey will try to get it back in, but not before Hensler is standing up with a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. And here's what is up next.
Emma Jo Davis, pardon Evans, Part of quite a tandem there. We already saw some power and pop courtesy of Hensler. Now it's time to continue and potentially start something infectious. Here in softball, you try to pass the bat around.
They are going to run for the catcher, Hensler, as Lucy Bertram, the freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, will try to give them their third runner to cross the plate today. Evans, the 2-out solo blast in the second, struck out more recently in the fourth. 1 for 2 today. And of course, she squares around a bunt to move the runner Bertram down to third. Got to be able to do it all. They're going to feel that much better if they can give Peyton List even one more insurance run.
Hey, it's selfless softball. You want to make sure that you're getting bunts down, helping out your runners, and that's what happened.
Love a line where you see somebody with a home run and a sac bunt in the same game. Here's Kylie Gleason in the top of the order. She is 2 for 3 today. She single-handedly has out-hit Texas State. She has 2 of the 6 hits for JMU. First time for her to see Emma Stroud. We'll see what the Bobcats' priorities are if a ball's in the infield.
Yeah, Gleason is a major factor in contributing speed and situational offense. We saw that on display just a second ago there. Evans, the home run hitter, getting the bunt down. Got a runner aboard.
Count 2-1 after the foul ball. Madison Edwards on deck had an RBI double that doubled the JMU lead back in the fourth. The 2-1 from Stroud to Gleason. Did she lay off of it? They say she did.
Kellner trying to keep that batter honest there behind the dish.
So 3 balls, 1 strike to Gleason with a runner on and 1 out. Left side, will this score the run? They'll throw behind the runner. And let's see, the Bobcats, that's best case scenario. They have caught Bertram off the bag. And Gleason, when it's all said and done, at least some heads-up base running, puts herself in scoring position, but JMU essentially loses 60 feet in all this exchange.
When a runner gets stuck in a pickle there, you always try to pay attention to what's happening with their helmet. As you see, she makes a turn. You know that she's going to try to give it a full send, not close to home plate, but close enough to make the tag and eliminate the threat, even though we now have a new one on 2.
1 pitch later, and Emma Stroud and the Bobcats are in a much better spot now. Here's Madison Edwards. We mentioned RBI double in the fourth. Another extra base hit would probably lead to another RBI. But you no longer have the threat of that runner standing on third.
Stroud working her way back in, 1-1 count now. I mean, earlier yesterday, we've seen a lot happen with 2 outs, haven't we, Lincoln?
I would lazily state that I think the bulk of the runs we've seen so far in our first 3 games have been with 2 outs. There might have only been 1 run scored yesterday with fewer than 2. I think that was Hood with the leadoff home run.
That wasn't lazily.
I'll yawn afterwards. Fourth batter of the inning, Madison Edwards. Runner on second is Gleason, who reached on the fielder's choice. And again, with pinch runners, you're excited to get the opportunity, but you got to be smart about the situations. Think of all the scenarios, and that time just caught off the bag too far. Got into the rundown and ultimately was out. Means Emma Stroud right now can just focus on the batter in front of her. A 2-2 count to Edwards pending. See Gleason behind her. That hit her twice. Tough to do on purpose.
It's always encouraging, though, when you see the batter laugh it off a little bit there. Going in and speaking with her coach. You know, we understand throughout all this, Louisiana is going to have the home field advantage, but it seems as though a lot of fans are being pretty verbal here throughout the remainder of this game.
You know, I think it hit the bat twice, so Bugs Bunny's extra jealous because he could get 3 swings on a single pitch and not hit it. I think she was tickled that she managed to double dip on that ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes facing Stroud. Edwards trying to bring home a teammate with Gleason on second. In our first of 4 games today.
Edwards having a moment with her barrel there, getting into her rhythm and timing.
Probably on a first name basis by now. As there was not a threat of Gleason to go down to third. Probably would prefer that throw not be made. Only bad things can happen.
That's why it's important when you're behind the dish, you keep balls out in front. Gleason, she's someone who's known to be aggressive while she's on the base pass, but good read to get back in time.
Payoff pitch with 2 outs. But this will get the Bobcats out of the inning. Quickly back to the plate. Texas State has about 6 outs to work with right now. Still within striking distance, trailing by a pair. Here in Lafayette, our first quarterfinal of the day, and the Bobcats are just now bringing their lineup through for a 3rd time. It's Keely Williams with a walk and a ground out today who will try to spark things in a comeback effort. Again, Texas State saw their season end last year against JMU, a 2-0 final. Peyton List was very much a factor in that one as they continued on. Last year, that was, again, a premature exit for Texas State. They're trying to avoid a similar fate here.
Texas State able to hit the reset button, now working from the top of the order.
They do have the benefit of being the home team. Keely Williams last year was in the 3-hole for the Bobcats. This year, leadoff hitter. Bobcats only managed 3 hits that day. I mentioned List with a 3rd inning solo blast to give herself the insurance last year. So one will have a chance to get down. That's a fair ball. A great start for the Bobcats. A leadoff double from Keely Williams.
Keely Williams so expressive on 2. I love that she's looking over to her dugout, putting the hands in the air and celebrating. Bit of a battle cry, slapping that one over there to left field.
It's just their 2nd hit of the day. Just in the nick of time. I think she's gonna have a new profile pic.
Yeah.
Here's Sammy Hood. Again, she lined out to Peyton List back in the 1st. That led to a double play, easily turned by the pitcher, then a fly out to center to end the third inning. In her first and final year as a Bobcat. Opposite field, that gets down. Back-to-back base hits for the Bobcats, who are on the board. It's an RBI base hit for Sammy Hood to score Keely Williams.
That's all Texas State needed to do, is they need to pass the bat around. Back-to-back singles will ultimately get the job done. Able to get over to two, Keely Williams putting on a great display, and Sammy Hood working with some power to the gap. Evans able to get it in, but not in time.
And that's going to spark a conversation for the Dukes, because next up is Ayanna Coleman. Runner on first. That's the tying run. If Ayanna Coleman has it her way, the tying run just jogs home.
Well, for Ayanna Coleman, you made a comment earlier where it wasn't necessarily intentional that she was able to draw the walk previously. So at this time, hoping to square up with some power, because I'm sure players who love to elevate and meet the moment want to go out with a bang.
16 home runs this year, one shy of last year's mark of 17 when she set the program record. Got that walk in the fourth. And as I predicted, they re-entered her into the ball game after they ran for her with Reeves. That is ball one. Tying run on first, Sammy Hood. Bobcats with back-to-back hits this inning. Their first hits since their only hit back in the second from Vestal. That's ball two. Despite the framing effort admirably from Bella Hensler.
Hey, you always have to give it a shot, right? Even
Yeah.
if it's in the opposite batter's box.
They've got Coleman now right where they want her. Again, there's a runner on first. This would push the tying run to scoring position if Coleman walks. And they're going to give her a strike on that one.
Liz continuing to push, trying to get that call in the outer half of the plate, and does so. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Tying run on first. Tying run on second. As Bobcats still with all 6 outs to work with, including 3 here in the 6th inning.
Ayanna Coleman continuing to make history. We saw that she now has the Sun Belt Conference single season record for walks drawn, just continuing to pad to the stat.
Yeah, I would say she's running away with it, but perhaps walking away with it. Here's Kat Zarate, that one in the dirt, and the only thing you can't do as a Bobcat is make a running mistake now at this point. They're going to clean off the plate. And Zarate, 0 for 2 today, did reach on a fielder's choice in the 4th when she was stranded in scoring position. She was the last runner in scoring position until this inning. 1 run has already plated for the Bobcats. This is a foul ball. 4th batter of the inning for Texas State. And JMU at the moment starting to think about those 9 runners they've left on base today, clinging to a 1-run lead now.
Bobcats only need a single to change this ball game, and it can all be done with 1 swing.
Zarate came into today, 10 home runs, 29 RBI. Only third base unoccupied. The count, 3 balls, 1 strike. A double, a single, and a walk so far this inning for the Bobcats.
You could feel the daggers from Hensler from behind the plate as she popped up to go check the runner over at 2.
Bases loaded, tying run is 60 feet away.
The heart of the order is going to punish you for making mistakes. Sometimes you think of that in the sense of putting contact on the ball, but in this case, being unable to hit your spots, it's going to result in runners on board.
We told you the Bobcats walk more than they strike out. That includes 2 walks this inning, combined with 2 hits here in the 6th. Gives way to Harley Vestal, who had the only hit today for Texas State until this inning.
Coach has talked about it. It's a bit of a surprise to have a team that walks more than they strike out, but I'm sure she's pretty grateful for it at this time.
Bobcats load the bases for the first time today. This is after JMU has left them stranded twice. And this is a brand new ball game. That's an RBI ground out. The only play to be made was at first, but Vestal brings home Sammy Hood. It's 2-2. And the Bobcats are still threatening.
Texas State, they're gaining momentum. This is a team that, when they're able to turn on the afterburners, can do some damage. We've seen a lot of pristine at-bats where they've been able to be selective over pitches, draw those walks, and maybe we might see something here with some solid contact.
Go-ahead run for Texas State now on third, with another insurance run behind her on second. No traditional force outs to be had anywhere, as Kate Bobella at the plate 0 for 2 today. Back into the net. This by far the most promising inning Texas State has had, and already they've put a crooked number on the board. A 2-2 affair here in the home half of the 6th, with just 1 out, still threatening for more. Double, single, walk, RBI ground out. Every plate appearance has been productive this inning for the Maroon and Gold. As List now 100 pitches deep into this quarterfinal. Still hasn't trailed today, though outlasted the conference pitcher of the year, Azua. And we mentioned with the runner on third, a pass ball, wild pitch, could bring her home, but that one shoots away from Hensler, and about the only ideal spot up the third base line.
Bobella coming into the batter's box is as cool as a cucumber. It's fun taking a look out in the seats and seeing some of the Texas State fans leaning over. They're locked in. You can feel the tension and the stress radiating. Can they seize the moment?
2 on with 1 out. Bobella out to center field. This ball carries, it's gone. A 3-run blast off the bat of Kate Bobella. And it's the first lead for the Bobcats today.
The energy is absolutely insane coming from Texas State. I don't think I've seen them this loud ever competing in the tournament. Bobella able to work her barrel in low in the zone. Get underneath that ball, some nice lift as it is sent with power into the stands.
It is the first lead Texas State has had in the Sun Belt tournament since the championship game of 2024. The last time they heard their name called by the selection committee. Bobcats getting it all done here in 1 inning of work. And along the way, chasing the starting pitcher, Peyton List, who otherwise was fantastic today. Bobcats capitalizing on opportunities, still threatening here in the bottom of the 6th, now with a 3-run lead. Well, if you told JMU Kirsten Fleet was going to be coming into this game, I think most folks would be pleased with that. Usually that means you got a lead late. She's been a quality closer this year with her grit and composure, but she's now just trying to limit the damage. There's still only one out after 6 Bobcats have come to the plate. The 7-hole hitter now coming up in Carmen Bass. A 3-run home run from Kate Bobella breaks a 2-2 tie. And already a 5-run inning for the 3-seed Bobcats.
Texas State was doing their homework. They were getting pretty comfortable adjusting along with Peyton List, who did a phenomenal job in the circle. Bobella just able to get a hold of that last one there for the 3-run shot. But on Kirsten Fleet, when it comes to what she brings you from in the circle, she gives a different look. She's a big up ball pitcher, so that's pretty much a drastic change from what you saw from List trying to work down in the zone for at least most of that outing.
A little in excess of 100 pitches from List. Her bat will stay in the lineup, and she will be due up in the 7th when all of a sudden JMU on short notice is down to their final 3 outs. Question is, how large of a deficit will they have to overcome? We have harped on it. They have stranded 9 runners today on base, plating 2. Ball hit the knob of the bat. That is a foul ball. Grazed, more accurately, the knob of the bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. With nobody on the base paths for the first time in a while. This one squeezed in by Legsden, 2 away.
Texas State, Jill trying to ride that high here. The momentum doesn't have to be over just after a quick out there. Kellner could make something happen.
Remember, Kellner has been caught looking twice today at strike 3 against Peyton List. She welcomes a new look in the circle here with Fleet. 3-run lead for the Bobcats. Their only 5 runs have all been scored this inning after JMU shut them out last year. And Texas State hosted that tournament 2 years ago that they won, beating Louisiana in the final, going on to the College Station Regional. Of course, they went up against somebody named Ayanna Coleman for Texas A&M that year. Coleman's hoping to extend that walks record tomorrow. And if they can hang on here and advance to a semifinal tomorrow.
Fleet fighting for a chance, coming in here in the circle to close things out and try to help out her team as they switch out for the bats.
Winner of this game will play the winner of our next matchup, whether it be the 2-seed Marshall or the 10-seed Coastal Carolina. Two outs, nobody on. The 1-1 offering from Fleet to Kellner, the 8-hole hitter, who's also the 8th bat of this inning, as the Bobcats again were beginning the 6th with the top of their order. A double, a single, 2 walks, an RBI ground out, and then a 3-run blast. More recently, a pop out is how things have played out. Let's see if Fleet can get JMU into the dugout with just a 3-run deficit. And a line out in the glove of Legsden. Well, when it was tied 2-2 this inning, Kate Bobella came up and had ideas of bringing a few more home.
She most certainly did and executed in that fashion. Phenomenal bat control, bringing it through the zone, sending it over the wall. Texas State celebrating, but it's not over yet.
3 more games to go. Coastal Carolina scored first in their contest yesterday, never looked back. Same was true for the Raging Cajuns. Unlike today's quarterfinal where JMU scored early, Bobcats have scored late to take the lead. And of course, our nightcap later on tonight, Southern Miss and South Alabama. And semifinal coverage will continue then tomorrow as well on ESPN+. Championship on ESPN2 on Saturday. Always look forward to any chance of taking some softball here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Whether it be a conference tournament or NCAA postseason play. JMU all of a sudden down to their final 3 outs, trailing by 3. Here's Kendra Lewis, who has not been retired today. A walk, a double, and a walk. The problem is she's been stranded 3 times. 3 of the 9 runners left on base by the Dukes. When they led 2-0 late, that didn't seem to be a problem.
If the Dukes can't make anything happen, that could be a number that haunts them after today's game. 3 outs left to work with. Let's see who comes out on top.
Texas State will make a defensive change. Renteria in for Zarate. And still battling or recovering from hip injury. So Renteria at second, behind Emma Stroud, who is throwing the first pitches for any Bobcat pitcher today with a lead. Boy, that was best possible timing for the Bobcats. All of a sudden, you've got JMU on their heels, top of the 7th. Obviously, Bobcats have no interest in batting again today, but they do have the luxury of being the home team. Of course, a bit of a redemption opportunity perhaps. Peyton List, though no longer your pitcher for JMU, can still swing a bat as a DP in this lineup. She's walked twice today. Here's Lewis trying to set the tone. Still a full 3 outs to work with. Payoff pitch, just fighting.
Trying to work with that ball in the outer half of the plate. That'll go foul. But Stewart has just been doing such a great job while she's come into the circle throughout the course of this game, jumping in there for Madison Azua. Sometimes, you know, you'll see a pitch that you aren't necessarily expecting out of the zone, but it doesn't have to be thrown for a strike. It could just be something to give her pitches a different look.
That ball just foul, right of the bag. Azua and Stroud both pitched in that 2-0 loss last year at Troy against JMU in the conference tournament. And again, Lewis just battling here. The 3-hole hitter batting better than 400 coming into today. She has improved upon that with her double and the 2 walks. Payoff pitch, it's a leadoff walk for Lewis. JMU has not scored more than 1 run in any given inning. That'll have to change here. They need 3 to tie, 4 to reclaim a lead against Emma Stroud, but they still have all 3 outs to work with.
Lewis will happily accept the opportunity to trot down to first. Emma Stroud hasn't really given up too many walks over the course of the season. That was only her 25th.
So here's Peyton List. Again, this year she was first team all-conference as a DP, what she could do with her bat. She remains in the lineup. We just saw Lewis walk for a 3rd time today. List has walked twice today. Just get on any way you can. If you can reach, then all of a sudden the tying run's at the plate. With LeGrand having re-entered, though she's 0 for 2 today. Runner will have to hold it first as Sammy Hood squeezes in the first out. Dukes are down to their final 2, perhaps, on the season.
Phenomenal placement there by Stroud. When it comes to her arsenal, sometimes if she's trying to work in something different, a little off speed, if it doesn't locate at the knees, it could go pretty far. So she was able to work herself back in with that one. Induce that soft contact.
They pinch hit for LeGrand a couple of innings ago, but this is still a 300 hitter with 10 home runs and 36 RBI this year. First pitch she sees out towards center, but coming in to make the catch is Harvey. And all of a sudden now, Bobcats are 1 out away from moving on to tomorrow's semifinal.
I loved Harvey's mentality out there in center field. She's running in on the ball, crashing in. Wasn't able to get that over at first, but you're riding high. You want to close out this game. You're not going to give them any single opportunity, especially for the unexpected.
Callie Legston due up here, fourth batter of the inning. You got that leadoff walk for Lewis, and since then, a pop out and a fly out. And she's still stuck on first. You're not going to gamble with her in terms of trying to steal a bag. You want to run yourself not just out of the game, but out of the season. Legston, a strikeout, ground out, and fly out today. Home runs of her own this year, and even though there's only one runner on, wanted to tie the ball game with that swing.
I like that she's aggressive early in the count, but now already down a strike.
Might be down to the final strike. Texas State not ready to say farewell to the Sun Belt Conference just yet. The 0-2 to Legston. They'll do it again. And the promising start when Lewis reached base for a fourth time today. Can they avoid stranding her on base for a fourth time today?
Stroud locating very well in this at-bat, trying to incorporate some different speeds, different looks. Legston doing everything she can to stay alive for her squad.
Stroud in the circle, looking for that final out. If Legston can extend this inning, Ortega on deck. The 1-2 from Stroud. We may not have enough softballs left to play 4 quarterfinals today. Callie Legston happily to blame, and she is battling.
Unable to get what she wanted out of that one. Stroud going back to the circle, just taking a moment, taking a breather, and getting back to it. 2-2 count.
JMU had that deep run last year at the expense of Texas State's title hopes. Bobcats trying to return the favor as Texas State with a comeback victory in this morning's quarterfinal. Emma Stroud locking things down in the circle, and the Bobcat bats come alive with a 5 spot in the bottom of the 6 as they will await the winner of this next game between Marshall and Coastal Carolina and be back at it tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the semifinal.
Coach Woodard's message to the team was she wanted to make sure they were aggressive early on in the game, early in the count. And we didn't see that happen in some facets of the game, but truly able to turn on the afterburners, as you mentioned, that bottom of the 6th inning, 5 runs on the board. Part of that 3-run blast we saw courtesy of number 24. So this team is going to continue to move on throughout.
The resilience of a Texas State program that has lifted the trophy twice, looking for a 3rd here in 2026 before this week is over. We'll talk to you again later on this afternoon for our 2nd quarterfinal of the day between the number 2 seed Marshall and the 10th seed Coastal Carolina. For Jenna Rose, I'm Lincoln Rose. We'll step aside. Final score from this one, Texas State moves on by a score of 5-2 over JMU. The 2026 Sun Belt Softball Championship is brought to you by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Sun Belt Conference. By Visit Pensacola. Credit Union One. Discover better banking for all at CU1.com. Experience the new era of ticketing with Vivenue, the official ticketing platform of the Sun Belt. And by Visit Lafayette. Enter for a chance to win a getaway to Lafayette, Louisiana. Enter now at sunbeltsports.org.